Final Fantasy VII has a large cast of characters, and choosing a favorite is honestly a daunting task, but if you were to choose just one favorite, the person you choose could say a lot about who you are. Cloud. Cloud's spiky hair and nearly emotionless face might make you think he's too cool to cry, but he definitely has feelings. Behind that cool, tough guy exterior is something more. He just doesn't open up easily to everyone. And there's the whole memory loss thing. Wonder what that's about. If your favorite Final Fantasy VII character is Cloud, then you're probably a lot alike. You present yourself as a cool kid, and you're probably very stylish with cool hair to match, but there's more to you than that. Maybe you're even a little bit insecure. I'm not saying you lie about your accomplishments, but you might at least embellish them a little bit. Or you just think Cloud is hot, and you know what? Fair. Zack. Despite only appearing in flashbacks in the original game, Zack is actually one of the most important characters in Final Fantasy VII. His influence on the main cast has a huge impact on the story, and his positive, upbeat demeanor makes him instantly lovable every time you see him, no matter how briefly that is. In fact, he's so cool and lovable that they made an entire game about him, and if you haven't played Crisis Core, you are really missing out. If your favorite Final Fantasy VII character is Zack, then it's also possible that you're the instantly lovable, effortlessly cool guy who's good at everything. You're a natural-born leader who can lead all your friends to victory. A beacon of light to your family and friends, and your squatting skills are unbeatable. Or you just think Zack is hot, which again, fair. Aerith. Aerith is a joyful, carefree, and extremely compassionate member of the Final Fantasy VII crew. She does her best to help no matter what situation she finds herself in, whether that brings happiness by growing flowers in the depressing slums of Sector 5, or using her powerful magic to defend and heal her teammates in battle. She's just great, okay? Honestly. If your favorite Final Fantasy VII character is Aerith, then you're probably the helper of your friend group, also sometimes known as the mom of the friend group. You always do the best to make sure that the people around you are happy, and it's possible you have a deep love of the color pink. Way too much. Like, way too much. But just promise me that you're not going to let people take advantage of your kind, sweet nature. Please. With the one exception of if you are really that nice, you could consider hitting that like button. Doesn't hurt anybody, and I would appreciate it. Thank you very much. Tifa. Tifa is Cloud's oldest friend. She's also the soul and moral compass of the resistance group Avalanche. She uses her empathy as well as her physical strength and speed to fight for what she believes in, and always has a few encouraging words for those who need them. She's tough, she's determined, and she has a roundhouse kick that hits like a truck. If your favorite Final Fantasy VII character is Tifa, then odds are you know how to defend yourself. You're tough, athletic, willing to try your hand at any and every sport there is. And perhaps more importantly, your empathy and understanding make you an excellent teammate and friend, as well as a worthy opponent. Or maybe you just think Tifa is this joke getting old? Maybe it's getting old. Barrett. Barrett is an Avalanche faction leader, warrior, and father. The injustice he sees all around him fills him with rage and fuels his fire to fight and defend the future of the planet. However, he is also torn between fighting Shinra and caring for his adoptive daughter Marlene. Nothing is more important than making the world safe for her. That, and also one of his defining features is the fact his arm is straight up just a machine gun, which is just so cool. If your favorite Final Fantasy VII character is Barrett, then you have good dad energy. People go to you for advice, you make them feel safe, and you always have a pun loaded in the chamber. You are also a champion of the oppressed, and you refuse to stay silent when you see unfairness around you. You're the dad of every friend group you join, and everyone loves you for it. You probably don't have a gun arm though, as that's kind of, illegal. Also probably pretty painful. Pretty sure it's also because he's hot. Moving on. Sephiroth. Sephiroth is the primary villain of the Final Fantasy VII universe and one of the most recognizable video game villains of all time. His menacing, cold indifference makes him terrifying, but not as terrifying as his 7-foot-long sword. How he carries that around anywhere or sheathes it, no one knows, but we don't need to ask those questions. Sephiroth has become so popular that he's invaded other games too, like the time he stabbed Mario, or the time he showed up as a Kingdom Hearts boss fight with 6 health bars, mind you. Sheesh. He's super strong, super fast, and gorgeous. Look at this man. I know I'm talking about the attractiveness quality of all of these characters, but look at him. Look at him. If your favorite Final Fantasy VII character is Sephiroth, then you are one of two people. You are either a cold, calculated individual who has dedicated their life to learning the ways of the blade, or you really love BL manga. No judgment, just call it like I see him. But even if not, you're definitely the kind of person who will unironically give monologues and think that your glasses can actually do that whiteout thing when you push them up on your nose that they do in anime, which it does not look as impressive in real life. Sorry, it's not a good look. Reno. Reno is a frequent foe and a member of the Turks, Shinra's Special Combat Task Force. Despite how ruthless and heartless his work can be, Reno comes across as enthusiastic, playful even. He's the kind of guy who will toy with you in a fight before dropping you like a brick, just because that's fun for him. If your favorite Final Fantasy VII character is Reno, then you're probably a bad boy, a troublemaker, someone who scoffs at danger. You're the kid whose mom would say, "Boys will be boys," when they were wrecking havoc, breaking stuff everywhere. That also means you're a risk taker and would do things like jump out of a plane on a dare or take part in a Mr. Beast challenge video without thinking twice about it. Or maybe you just think he's hot. I know, we're just covering my bases here. Vincent. Vincent Valentine is a cape-wearing gunslinger and one of the strangest characters in Final Fantasy VII. Not the strangest, believe me, we're getting there. He was a Turk at some point in his mysterious past, but experiments conducted by Professor Hojo have turned him into something else. A brooding, damaged person who looks like someone who mixed up Old West cowboys and medieval knights. If your favorite Final Fantasy VII character is Vincent, then you too have been consumed by the darkness. You are a true void of emotion, and your soul is blacker than, bats. I don't know, I can't think of other dark things. My soul's not that dark enough, but you know what I'm talking about. You're edgy, so you pick guns over swords any day. That's also why you pick Shadow over Sonic. And yes, you were probably one of the ones screaming in the theater at the end of Sonic 2. Liking Vincent also means that you probably enjoy Dirge of Cerberus, but I can't even bring myself to make a joke about that because the shame should be enough. Cid. Cid is a former Shinra engineer who joined up with Cloud and the gang after a dopey Shinra exec tried to steal the Tiny Bronco. Cid named his plane the Tiny Bronco. It's not a euphemism, I swear. He's cranky and has a frankly impressive vocabulary of swear words, but he's a good guy at heart. He just wants to tinker, hang out with his friends, and who doesn't want that? If your favorite Final Fantasy character is Cid, then you're probably the crafty friend everyone goes to when you need help building something. IKEA is the bane of your existence, but you're always the first person to offer help when someone moves into a new place with boxes full of Swedish furniture. You're a little crusty and you grumble when you don't understand the instructions, but you're also a true bro. Cait Sith. Ah, man, I knew we were gonna get to this one eventually. This is Cait Sith. Cait Sith is a cat, person, robot thing. He's a weirdo with a megaphone who controls a giant toy Moogle. And I'm sorry, but I can't give you any more explanation than that. If your favorite Final Fantasy VII character is Cait Sith for some reason, then you're down to be a clown. In a game full of beautiful men and women covered in zippers, spiky hair, and smoldering stares, you chose the cat. You just want to be a silly cat wearing a crown and riding a sentient marshmallow. Outwardly, you do it for the laughs, but deep down, we both know you're hiding your true self. Maybe just like Cait Sith himself. That's right, I see your inner cat weirdo. Yuffie. Yuffie is a native of the Watanabe Nation, a gifted materia hunter and a ninja, and a thief. She wears a lot of hats. When she first encounters Cloud's party, she helps them out for her own selfish purposes. However, she comes around and ends up befriending them and showing them her true self as a friendly, optimistic, and occasionally obnoxious party member. And I know what you're thinking, is she just really tiny or is that shuriken like stupidly large? And I can assure you, her shuriken is stupidly large, and she is also tiny. If your favorite Final Fantasy VII character is Yuffie, then you're probably a tomboy, who would rather hang out with the guys rather than the girls. Or maybe you just always wanted to be a ninja with a giant shuriken. It's difficult to say, really. Either way, you're the fun one in your friend group. Always the first person to suggest group activities. You also don't take no for an answer, and you want everyone involved in those activities. Even strangers, which can get a little uncomfortable, but hey, that's how you make friends, right? Red 13. Red 13 is a red lion-wolf creature who was captured and experimented on by Professor Hojo, and he has a tragic past, making him a good companion for most of the people in Final Fantasy VII. It's also what fuels his warrior spirit to defend the planet alongside Cloud and friends. His true name is Nanaki, and he is resolute, loyal, and ready to fight for what is right. He's also one of the first in a long line of canine companions like Torgal in Final Fantasy XVI. If your favorite character in Final Fantasy VII is Red 13, then you are also serious and always focused on your goals. More importantly though, to your friends, you're always loyal, worthy of standing tall among Final Fantasy's goodest of boys. How'd I do? Let me know in the comments. And why don't you check out more of our Says About You videos like this one here. But for now, I'm gonna be deep in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Like, hold my calls, I am not in the office, talk to you later.